What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Art of Games. My name's Keegan Larwin, a New York City-based 3D artist. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a great day. Today, we're going way back to the early 2000s to one of my personal favorites. That's right, we're taking a look at Half-Life 2. Now, Half-Life is a name in the video games industry. If you've ever met someone who plays games, if you play games, you've heard of Half-Life. You know the impact that Half-Life and Half-Life 2 have had on the community. And you know the lack of Half-Life 3, the impact that has also had. But Half-Life 2 is actually a really good case study, especially when you're talking about the art of games, because it does so much so well. And even though there are bits and pieces that feel dated, it was so ahead of its time that there's still so much that we can learn from it. So, without further ado, let's jump right in. New game, point insertion, memories. I probably haven't played this in 4 or 5 years. So let's see how it goes.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine. Not that I wish to imply you have been sleeping on the job. No one is more deserving of a rest, and all the effort in the world would have gone to waste until, well, let's just say your hour has come again.
His face still looks really good. I mean, the textures are low res, but the detail, the character.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world. So wake up, Mr. Freeman. Wake up and smell the ashes.
So great intro sequence. Good way to creep anyone out who's never played this before. It always starts with the train.
I didn't see you get on.
Already the environmental touches, just these bullet holes in the glass.
Well, end of the line.
Welcome to City 17. You have chosen or been chosen to relocate to one of our remaining urban centers. I thought so much of City 17 that I elected to establish my administration here in the
so good.
so thoughtfully provided by our benefactors. I've been proud to call City 17 home.
All right, I'm moving.
So, whether you are here to stay or passing through on your way to parts unknown, welcome to City 17.
So, right here, the first area we walk into. So good. I mean, we already have all these amazing details. We've got these like kind of Soviet era trains, which are, you know, nothing to write home about geometry wise, obviously. But I mean, at the time, like, it didn't really matter. I mean, the textures looked so good. Clearly hand painted. It didn't matter that this thing is just a literal box. There's like no bevel on this at all. But that's okay, obviously, because they're really trying to save geometry. You notice that there's like objects scattered around here that you can pick up. So cool. I mean, honestly, I can't think of a game since this that has really had so much fun with its physics. I feel like Half-Life 2, they're like, we built a physics engine and we're gonna really use it. And you can do crazy stuff like throw Chinese containers around. But like I feel like there haven't been very many games since that have really played with that, but that's besides the point. It's more of a gameplay note, not exactly within the purview of this show. So right away you get this propaganda. I mean, already this vibe, everything feels kind of very old and Soviet. These old like Soviet looking trains, this old train station, Eastern European train station. You've got this propaganda that's been beautifully put together by the art team. I mean, all this looks good, and plus you've got this sweet-looking Metro cop with this gas mask. His legs get around there. You've got the surveillance drone.
Welcome to City 17.
You've got this note. You see this alien over here, which you've never played Half-Life before. You're like, what is this alien? But if you have played it, you're like, they've enslaved the Vortigaunts,
I thought so much of City.
and they're forcing them to do stuff. It's just amazing how much detail there is just in this one little area. How much it tells you about what kind of society this is, where you are. You know, clearly Eastern Europe, clearly some kind of dystopian society. Clearly they've enslaved aliens. Clearly they've got this like interesting technology blended with this, you know, the old infrastructure that used to be there. I mean, there's just so much right off the bat that they just give you without ever explicitly saying anything. And you've got this bureaucrat up here, Dr. Breen, telling you stuff.
Were you the only ones on that train?
I remember this vending machine's great. I love breaking the vending machines in these games.
Welcome.
Oh, the sound is so good.
To City 17. You have chosen or been chosen to relocate to one of our finest remaining.
Great little animation there, playing with some interactive physics.
Don't drink the water. They put something in it to make you forget. I don't even remember how I got here.
Oh, these break, don't they? Oh, so much fun.
They never leave. They're always full. No one ever gets on, but they're always departing, but they never arrive.
Parts unknown. To City 17.
Dr. Breen again? I was hoping I'd seen the last of him in City 14. I wouldn't say that too loud. This is his base of operations.
All these nice little story elements that have just been like, you know, dropped in here. Ooh, okay, source engine. Got these nice little reflections here. I don't really know, I think this is supposed to be the skylight, and I don't know what this orange thing is supposed to be. Maybe this light here. It's clear that they like did a render of this and then used it to build an HDRI.
Welcome.
Because in reality, this like sunlight would be a lot brighter, which would cause this big reflection.
You have chosen or been
Check it out, I don't know.
relocate to one of our finest remaining urban centers.
That looks nice though.
I thought so much of City 17.
It is a very glossy floor though. You get the feeling that they like mop it all the time.
Here,
All right.
in the citadel so thoughtfully provided by our benefactors, I've been proud to call City 17 my
Gotta go this way on the train to Nova Prospect.
Whether you are here to stay or passing through on your way to parts unknown, welcome.
Love this.
It's safe.
Pretty sure there's a loading screen like right here.
This must be a mistake. I got a standard relocation coupon just like everybody else.
Ooh, so ominous. Ugh, the bloody chair. This is a great example of the Half-Life 2 aesthetic with like the alien technology merged with the old Soviet infrastructure. Just such a good direction.
About that beer I owed you. It's me, Gordon, Barney from Black Mesa. Hey, sorry for the scare. I had to put on a show for the cameras. I've been working undercover with
Yeah, it looks like you murdered several people in here, Barney.
Suspicious. I'm way behind on my beating quota.
Yes, Barney, what is it? I'm in the middle of a critical test.
Sorry, Doc, but look who's here.
Great Scott! Gordon Freeman! I expected...
Honestly, like by today's standards, these
Oh,
models
Doc,
still look pretty
he was
good.
about to board the express to Nova Prospect.
Well, Barney...
Barney looks okay.
Lieutenant,
I'm thinking.
Alex is around here somewhere. She would have a better idea how to get him here.
Oh, as long as he stays away from
These console
checkpoints,
models
we
are
should
pretty
be okay.
detailed.
Listen, I gotta go, Doc. We're taking enough chances as it is.
Very well. And, Gordon, good to see you.
Okay, Gordon. You're gonna have to make your own way to Dr. Kleiner's lab. Oh, man, that's what I was afraid of. Get in here, Gordon, before you blow my cover.
I know the drill. I've done this 10,000 times.
Through that window and keep going till you're in the plaza.
Oh wait, I can just go
I'll
up this
meet up
ladder.
with you later.
Teach you how to pick stuff up. that box breaks onto you is just so good. This is a nice little frame here. They've clearly staged all of these bits and bobs here, which I can destroy because why not? Because chaos is a ladder. Oh, loading screen right here. These loading screens used to take forever. I'm actually surprised at how long they're taking right now. In today's modern era, they're very cleverly hidden in elevators. I'm looking at you, Mass Effect. Okay. Nice little ways of telling story and teaching gameplay mechanics. I do want to note that this corridor looks just beautiful. You can see that the reflections don't line up with the reflection of the windows, but that's okay. Clearly, actually this plaster looks really good up here. It's just so much artistry went into these textures. You can barely even see them tessellate. It's just like, it makes this a great looking frame, even though, I mean, and with these papers scattered around here, it's like an overlay sort of texture. Like, even though this is really just a box with a very few amount of polygons, the textures are so beautifully painted on, so cleverly crafted, that this is a great looking frame as is, with a very minimal amount of actual geometry.
First, let us consider the fact that for the first time ever, as a species,
This glass looks so good. I mean, you can tell it's not glass, just clearly nothing behind it, but got a nice little emission coming off of it. I always love the rations queue. I used to play a lot of Gary's Mod role-playing servers, where you would essentially walk around like one of these guys and like try and start a business, and other players who were the Metro cops would like beat you with sticks. I was in my like Children of Men phase back then, so which is still a great movie, don't get me wrong. Oops. But oh man, lived for that. All right, the opening of this door is great. We're just gonna experience this moment for a second, and then we'll talk about it. So good. So first, let's talk about the elephant in the room, the Citadel back here. You've got some clouds down here, kind of occluding the bottom of it, showing that it's very far away. So you know this thing is huge because it's so far. There's literally a cloud between you and this thing. And then when you look up, you can't see the top because it's also occluded by clouds. Just incredible. I mean, the sky looks so good. You've got a lot of the subtle bloom. Well, not exactly subtle, but a lot of bloom. There it's off, there it's on, there it's off, there it's on. I don't know what is causing that glitch. It's probably these wires here. I don't know. But where this like sun is occluded by the sky, you obviously get this blue. It's a nice way just to be able to turn it on and off with moving my mouse around. So you've got this amazing square. Something that always struck me about this game was the birds. Let me see if I can find a pigeon. I don't know why, I remember there being a lot more birds. Seems like there was only one this time.
They have given us the strength we never could have summoned to overcome this compulsion.
Cafe Baltic, it's my people. And their shop is closed, unfortunately.
Let me assure you that
Got this old Soviet sign here that hasn't been replaced. Dog, where are the birds? I promised the people birds. Okay, well I guess there are no birds, but it's just nice seeing this like Soviet square here. Classic Soviet monument. Your obelisk with propaganda, classic. And once again, you've got the new technology merged, the alien technology, I should say, merged with, you know, these old Soviet buildings. You can hear horns in the distance. Clearly, the city's not completely empty, which is good because this square does feel a little bit empty without that sound. So just using those subtle like sound cues really helps. You can hear trains. There are people walking on the streets. See some dark stuff going on in here. Sweet Strider. And you can see these buildings have like no textures here because you're not supposed to get that close, but you can see super low res, not a lot of geometry. just to save resources, just to build that parallax, to build that city feeling. And honestly, I'm playing this game at 1440p. Back when I first played this game, I was probably playing it on like a 720 by 720 screen, like a square. I don't even think it was that high res. It was probably like 640 or something. So all of these texture, like the fact that like these brick textures hold up so well is insane at 1440p. I mean, yo, they're not perfect, but like they've got amazing little specular highlights all along here to show these reflections. They're super detailed. I mean, it's really amazing that these hold up as well as they do. So something else that strikes me about this game is, unfortunately, it's very timeless. Scenes like this, I think when this game came out, it was during the height of the, Iraq War. Operation Iraqi Freedom was well underway by this point. I mean, it had been in development long before that, but dystopian fiction, especially back then during like the Bush administration, early Obama administration, was a lot more, I don't want to say powerful, but it was very popular. Like I said, Children of Men came out around that time. Hunger Games exploded in popularity. The whole young adult fiction genre of like dystopian fiction was like huge then, especially for people who were young, like a little bit older than I was at the time. But the thing is, I think back then we saw a lot of the stuff on the news. And the sad thing is, a lot of that hasn't changed. You still see situations where, people dressed in this people dressed in this military gear are detaining people for seemingly no reason. I mean, it's happening around the world, regardless of where you fall on the political spectrum. It's a thing that's happening, and I think it makes this game that much more important and real. And depending on how you feel about what this game says and its messaging, and if it even really has clear messaging, the tone that they set, I think it still resonates quite a bit. Okay.
This is how it always starts. First the building, then the whole block. They have no reason to come to our place. Don't worry, they'll find one.
Love that. Loading screen? Yep. Wow. The fact that I know exactly what the loading screens are. I've legit played this game so much. Maybe an embarrassing amount. Oh yeah, can't go that way. As I say that, I immediately go the wrong way. This is what, if you've ever been to like an ex-Soviet state, this is straight up like what the halls and buildings look like, with this old wallpaper. A lot of times, some unlawful, yeah, it's upsetting. But a lot of times with these old buildings, at least nowadays, you go in and they don't look crummy like this. You expect them to, but they actually look very clean and modern. But the halls all look like, am I gonna get murdered in here? It's just a thing, so don't be alarmed. Oh, I love the paint, how you can, oh. Once upon a time, maybe it's just in Gary's mod, when you throw a paint can at the wall, a little paint splash appears and stays there, kind of like a spray. These people living in
I thought you were a cop.
rags, essentially.
I can't take it anymore.
Everything's gonna be okay.
What are we going
This is my favorite thing to do, is take the TV and throw it out the window.
When is it all going to end?
Just nice little touches this game lets you do. Oh, this bathroom's gross. All right, let's keep moving here.
Attention residents. Miscounted detectives in your block.
In here!
Cooperation with your civil
Head for the roof! There's no time to lose!
full ration reward.
Textures are so good.
Attention. All citizens in local residential blocks.
Great little moment there where you see that you want to go down, you see them.
Quick! Keep moving! Head for the roof! Going!
Another loading screen. Just like they've really staged the action in this game well. Got this old attic. These light rays coming through. You get these subtle atmosphere coming through. Just really nice. Then we're on the rooftops, the old chimneys that are definitely not up to spec. Some bullets whizzing by here. Knocking stuff off as you go. There's a bird. Great looking bird. They've got this AI, they like land pretty normally. Okay. Ow! Okay. I'll show them birds later. Hopping in. Walking down some steps. The brake.
Over here! Ha, no, you don't.
Dr. Freeman, I presume.
Her character model looks okay too.
I better hurry.
It's really the thing is like I said with the G-Man at the beginning, the textures are low res, but they have so much character and they're so artistically painted.
Dr. Kleiner said
They just look great.
I don't think it occurred to him that you might not have a map. I'm Alex Vance. My father worked
Animation's a little
back in
glitchy, but honestly, like Skyrim came out like almost 10 years later and it wasn't much better.
Man, a few words, aren't you?
Mocap is great.
Remember him from Black Mesa? Your old administrator. Don't get my dad started on Dr. Breen. Through here.
All these nice little touches. Oh yeah, I still have this t-shirt. So nice. Honestly, all this art is so good. And also notice like as she walks the way that, oh geez.
Funny, you showing up on this day in particular.
Sorry. Notice how she walks, how her different animations blend together. There's a little bit of a glitch between when they happen. So she had to go into that neutral stance before she could get into the jump over fence animation.
Route to my father's lab.
So she kind of like glitched into place, jumped, stood up, glitched back to her walking place. But they blend pretty well.
Here, let me buy you a drink. Oh, and by the way, nice to finally meet you.
I got an achievement as if I haven't played this game a million times. Lab looks great, obviously. The displacement on this water looks pretty good. I mean, it's low res, you can see like the pixels, but back here it looks really good. Looks really good.
Well, almost all right. Lamar has gotten.
This is a great model.
If I didn't know better, I'd suspect Barney of trapping and.
Honestly, it's made to look like it's coming out of the whatever this machine is called, oscilloscope. But actually, it's just like flexing like this, and the texture is what's moving across. Genius.
I must say, Gordon, you come at a very opportune time. Alex has just installed the final piece
Was this
for our resurrected
screensaver?
Teleport.
I can't take any credit for the breakthrough.
These old cathode ray tube
Your
TVs.
talents surpass your loveliness.
Let's just see if this thing works, okay?
Well,
This
it's
mini
here.
teleporter.
There you are. Man, Gordon, you stirred up the hive. We can't keep him here long, Doc. It'll jeopardize everything we've worked for.
Don't worry.
I love the typing animations. They're actually like.
That's right, Barney. This is a red letter day. We'll inaugurate the new teleport with a double
Oh, this
transmission.
lens.
You mean it's working? For real this
Oh, I'm
time?
stuck between them.
Because I still have nightmares about that cat.
No,
Oh,
there's nothing to
I'm so
observe.
close.
Well, we've made major strides since then. Major strides.
What cat?
Doc,
Alright, y'all need
since
to
he's
walk
not
away so
taking
I can
the streets,
move.
You might as well get him out of his civvies.
What?
There we go.
Oh dear. You're
Yeah,
right.
this lens is
I
great.
almost forgot. Barney, I'll
You
give
can actually see his
a
model in there, which is
I've
super
gotta get
cool.
back on my
That's
shit.
really nice. It's a great touch. Whoever wrote the script for that, great work. Oh yeah, time for some HEV suit music.
Go.
Ah, forgot about this.
Get it off me!
Great animations.
Lamar. There There you are.
I thought you got rid of that pest.
Certainly not.
Of how he affects the environment.
She's de-beaked and completely harmless. The worst she might do is attempt to couple with your head, fruitlessly.
Get that thing away from me.
Here, my pet. Up. No, not up there. No. Careful, Lamar. Those are quite fragile. Oh, fie. It'll be another week before I can...
That's good.
Yeah, longer.
Great animations. Honestly, this game's animations really, really hold
Animal
up.
person.
Well, Gordon, go ahead. Slip into your suit now.
Good stuff. One of the only times you see your hands in this game.
The suit still fits you like a glove. At least the glove parts do. I've made a few modifications, but I'll just acquaint you with the essentials. Now let's see.
Trying to jump up there.
The Mark V hazardous environment suit has been redesigned for comfort and utility. Oh dear.
Doc, we don't have time for this. At least get that suit juiced up, Gordon.
I like how it just drops it.
There's a charger on the wall.
Alright.
I've modified your suit to draw power from Combine energy outlets, which are plentiful wherever they patrol.
It's great. Great sound effects that they took from the first Half-Life. Love it. Love bringing back the eye scanners from the first game. So good. I like how the thing is hidden behind this trapdoor, but the blueprints are right here. All right, let's get some weird stuff going.
Gordon, why don't you position yourself near the panel over there and wait for my word?
I think, are you there?
Yes,
Ugh.
Eli. Bit of a
R.I.P.
hold up on this end. You'll never guess who found his way into our lab this morning.
That's not who I think it is.
Indeed it is, and it's our intention to send him packing straight away in the company of your lovely daughter.
Are you ready for us, Dad?
You're all set on this end.
Then let's do it.
Let's see. The massless field flux should self-limit, and I've clamped the manifold parameters to CY base and LT orbifold, Hilbert inclusive. Conditions could hardly be more ideal.
That's what you said last time.
Hey, yeah, about that cat.
Initializing in 3, 2,
Love those spinning
1.
elements.
No fiddlesticks. What now?
Doctor, the plug.
Dear me.
Love that
You're
animation.
right. Gordon, would you mind plugging us in? Excellent.
You gonna let Gordon throw the switch?
Gordon, go right ahead. Very good. Final sequence. Commencing now.
Nice little particle truss there.
Okay.
Note the audio. Good stuff. Love the nice slow down curve on all of these.
Well,
Really great animation
did it
there.
work?
See for yourself.
Hey, Doc.
Thank goodness. My relief is almost palpable.
Fantastic work, Izzy.
Well, I can't take all the credit. Dr. Freeman proved an able assistant.
Let's go
So
ahead
good.
and bring Gordon through now.
And honestly, all
Right you
these
are.
like stacks
See
of
you
like old
again
tech
in
and
a
stuff.
few moments.
You think any of this is actually helping them?
That switch and all. I
Seems
can
like
see
it's
your
just that
MIT
computer up
education
there.
really pays for itself.
All right, Barney. Your turn.
Gee, thanks.
Gordon, as soon as you're in position, we'll send you to Eli's.
And not a moment too soon.
Here we go. Let's get teleported. That big ominous eye with the sound of the
In 3,
klaxon outside.
1. Barney, if you'd be so kind.
Good luck out there, Gordon.
Yes, indeed. We're ready to project you, Gordon. Bon voyage, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Final sequence. What the hell? What is it?
It's your man, the freaking headhopper.
Lamar,
Knock out. There he is. Lamar with him. Get about that.
I like how all this is Lamar's fault.
Dad,
What's going on, Judith?
I'm not sure. It seems to be some kind of interference.
Gordon, stay put. We'll get you out of there.
Something is drawing him away.
Nice little bitmap on the screen. Breen's office. So beautifully built with the oak desk and like little touches on it. He's like sold himself out to humanity, but he still likes to feel like a CEO. Just such a good touch. Just a great character touch, you know?
Don't worry, Gordon. We'll get
There he is! Oh, we're losing him again.
The minute I saw him, I'm
Yeah, look
all
at this
but
desk.
certain it was Gordon Freeman.
So good. The water looks okay too. That, I forget what it's called, the fish thing, scares me every time.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
You must get out of here! Ryan! Get down out of sight. I'll come find you.
Alright, let's escape. Oh, I can sprint now. Something that's only possible with the power of the HEV suit. Sprinting. Loading screen, yep. Wow, dude. Just saying. I don't know if it's something to be proud of, but have to go over here first.
Hey, Gordon! The Citadel's on full alert. I've never seen it lit up like that.
Oh yeah, look at all the
Get out of City 17 as fast as you can, Gordon. Take the old canals, right?
the scanners leaving the Citadel. Honestly, they're probably going a little fast to be that far away, but it still looks so
Come
good.
with you, but I gotta look after Dr. Kleiner. Oh, and before I forget,
All the elements of the Citadel shifting.
this back in Black Mesa.
Ugh, so good.
Good luck out there, buddy. You're gonna need it.
So good. Like, adhering to the design aesthetic 100%. I just love that. Honestly, just the way the particles are falling is just so good. Ooh, so dark. Ah! Alright, now I can't see. Ooh, train's coming. Nice little chase sequence here. Uh-oh. I honestly don't remember where to go after this. Says the person who was bragging about how I've played this game 1,000 times, and here we are. Alright, let's try this again. I don't think I go down there. I think I jump. Aha! Right. I know what I'm doing. We got another loading screen coming up. Right. That would have been a good time for it. Oh, there it is. I remember the loading screens, but I clearly don't remember the puzzles. Brood Canal. Okay, let me heal up here. Thank you. This is good. You finally get some like sweet revenge. And when you finally get these guys, they ragdoll, which is more realistic.
You'd better run. There's nothing else you can do here.
Sorry, lady. Oops. Pistol model still looks good. Oh yeah, there's no iron sights. Just these, so whenever you shoot a wall, obviously, this little texture is designed to appear wherever the bullet's supposed to go. The reload sounds are not great. Not anymore. Ooh, but the pickup sounds are great. Oh, there's some more birds. Honestly, look great. If you want to add life to any scene, throw some birds in flying around. Birds are everywhere. They're in pretty much every part of the world. Except for like maybe Antarctica. I'm pretty sure there are penguins there though. Always add birds. Just, it's a good rule of thumb. Always add birds. Let's also check out some of these explosions. Get a nice little fire. Love how these are left behind. Ooh, that shrapnel would have taken my head off. It's so great how when you destroy it, it spawns. So nice. That's a derailment hazard right there. That building is just textures painted on, but like honestly, it still looks pretty good. For 2002, I mean, it beyond looks good. Wow. Wasting time, trying to be cocky and jump onto this train before. Platforming has never been my strong suit, so pardon me while I try and get through this. I'm not gonna fight this guys. The old school loot boxes are those little supply. Ugh, I'm stuck. Nice. You get a lot of like Indiana Jones opportunities in this game, which I really like. Alright, I'm going. Root Canal. So funny. They love to be so cheeky with their chapter titles. Root Canal. Alright, I gotta John Wick through this phase. Ooh, stuck. Doug, you straight up, it's like you're running on ice sometimes. Gotta juice up. Man, they really like to stress you out with these boxes that are in the way. With those lens flares, you see the bullets zipping by you, which isn't really a realistic thing unless you're using tracers, but man, it makes things look super visually appealing, doesn't it? Zipping through the water. Water looks great, honestly. Yeah, you can see it tessellating a little bit, but like, looks better than a lot of 2019 water, let me tell you that. A lot of trash up here in Root Canal.
Guess those sirens are for you, huh? Good thing you found us.
Vortiguns are so smooth.
Mr. Freeman, the Combine's reckoning has come.
We're just a lookout for the Underground Railroad. Main station's right around the corner. They'll get you started on
Those
the right.
big, glossy eyes.
Let my Vortigon friend here give you a jolt to get you going.
Zap me, bro. The VFX are not great anymore, but at the time they were amazing. And this model still looks pretty good.
Civil protection catches you down here, it's bad news for the whole railroad.
Love how they always have a map. Another thing that's great about this game, especially if you are like an aspiring game developer, is they have, I think on all the Half-Life games, or Half-Life 2 games, Half-Life 2, Half-Life 2 Episode 1, and Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which is confusing, I know. They actually have commentary tracks, where when you walk around there's like little floating speech bubbles, and you can kind of learn a bit about how they developed each area. I'm like suddenly remembering that as we go through here. Bamboozled again. Oh, you're gonna regret that. Ugh. So dark.
Station 12. This is Station 8. We heard 12 go down and out. The surgical strike units are targeting
so great with the ragdolls. Every time. Man, it is dark. I forgot how dark this game is. I mean, like, both in subject matter, but also, like, it's physically dark.
Over here!
Those jeeps.
That station was raided, but there's others up ahead. I'm gonna stay here in case any others come through.
It's very selfless of you, man. Alright, so let's see if we can jump to... let's jump to... let's not quite jump to the end. We'll actually do some Highway 17 here. So we're just going to jump to an area. I feel like we've kind of said most about the environmental design there, and we're running low on time. So let's jump to Highway 17, kind of more of a coastal sort of area, almost like we're on the Caspian Sea here. And we're just gonna take, you know, a little road trip through Highway 17 along the coastline and just talk about some of the nice environmental design. So right now, we're literally being dropped via crane, which seems crazy. Ocean looks not bad. It feels like the horizon isn't very far away. There's not a lot of fall off there on the water. Thanks, lady. These guys are just gonna keep coming if I don't flip this over. Physics! Alright. Nice little soundtrack rolling on here. Handbrake, okay. Sorry, just remembering the controls here. Man, what a great level this was. Honestly, this game is like sometimes you play a game back in the day, and then you play it again with like nostalgia glasses, and you're like, yeah, it's not as good as I remember. This game is just as fun playing it now than it was playing it back then. Ooh, let's talk about this road texture really quick. So you can see clearly that these lines aren't all lining up. And that's basically because this texture is essentially a flat texture that's just like here, and then here, and then here, and then here, which makes those choppy kind of like octagonal looking corners. But nowadays we use like a lot of splines to dictate the movement of textures and can do that pretty easily, which is nice. We're going full speed ahead through this tunnel. Great way to hide loading screens. Just drive deep into a tunnel. Honestly, it's not super great here because you can see there. Woo! Motion blur is great. Man, I really miss games like this. They used to just kind of like, this is an open world, but it really gives you a feeling of choice, you know? Just love it. Grass is looking a little chunky. The weeds help though, like these weeds, which are really, yeah, these are sprites. See how they're always facing camera? These are sprites, not just like plain textures. This little environmental touch you've got with this thing scaring these guys away. If I turn it off, they come after me. If I turn it on, as soon as it pops, they get scared. Look at how scared this guy is. It almost makes you feel sad. Bye. Let's just take a peek inside this house. So someone's clearly marked this with skull and crossbones. I wonder why. Oops. Where art thou, gravity gun? So clearly one of these, and this is something I love that we kind of missed out in the section I just skipped. The Combine used these, the Combine, who are the main enemies, kind of these guys. They use these bombs here, but instead of like a warhead or some kind of payload in there, the back opens up and there are these little cages where these toxic head crabs come out. It's essentially like a biological weapon. And if you've ever played, I think Lost Coast, which is like a Half-Life test mission, it's just so good. It's just like such a great little detail, and it's never something they explicitly say in this game. It's just something that you kind of figure out through context clues, which like, you really got to appreciate a game, a movie, a story, a book that doesn't treat you like an idiot and it gives you all the pieces and lets you figure it out. That's something, I'm pretty sure Nerdwriter did a really great video on why the Harry Potter books and movies are like better oh boy. Oh, there's your problem. Oh no, there's so many. Ah! Oh jeez, dog. All right. Some Clint Eastwood action. Sorry, what was I saying? I think it was Nerdwriter. No, it was. We'll have to look at it. I'll link it, but it was. I think it was Just Right. Did a great video on why the mystery plots are so much better in Harry Potter than they are in Sherlock Holmes. And a lot of it's because Harry Potter gives you all of the clues to discover every single mystery. It's never just leaving you hanging until the last minute. And it allows you to try and figure it out for yourself. As where there are a lot of people who don't want anyone to figure out the mystery until the end, to be like, oh, I as the writer am a genius, because you didn't figure it out, but when really the clues were never there. Love the tire swing, great touch. Clearly like a kid maybe used to live here. Don't know how to do this humanly. Up. Oof. That scared me. There's something about the combat in this game that, I mean, it's not like the smoothest combat in the world. It's no Apex, but it has a degree of intensity to it, I think. Ooh. I saw the shadow on the wall. Love this. Love watching who they're spying on. There's the G-Man sighting right there in the middle of the screen. Selling the rocket launcher to Odessa Cubbage, we believe. Oh, I love this great moment where this guy kicks the antlion off. Boop. So good. Ah! Ah! Peace! Whew. I'm playing this on easy, so I really have nothing to worry about, but nevertheless. Good stuff, great stuff. But yeah, the combat isn't quite as smooth as Apex is, but it feels really intense. Which is, in a lot of ways, more important. Combat, I mean, there are different philosophies on this, obviously. There's a big question on whether or not combat should be fun. And again, this is a little outside the purview of this series. But it is something to think about, storytelling-wise and art-wise. Like, when you look at a game like Mortal Kombat that has like these animations that are like meant to make you feel like, yeah, it's very like cathartic, overly violent, hyper-violent, depictions of violence. This game is kind of more neutral. It's really physics-based, which kind of feels in touch with what they're trying to convey, I guess. So it is something to think about, is like how violence is conveyed in games. Is it supposed to be fun? Is it supposed to be...
Hurry, get in the basement. We're expecting gunships at any moment.
All right, buddy.
Coverage will be glad to see you made it.
Love this guy up here. Do I have anything I can zoom? No.
Stay with me, Freeman.
Okay, buddy. I'm trying to show these people some cool art.
This steerable
launcher is our best bet for taking down a gunship. Ah, hello. I'll be right with you. Now, where was I? Ah, yes.
Of the map.
Using the laser guide, you can steer your rocket past the gunship's defenses and prevent it from shooting down your rocket. This will only anger it at first, but if you can survive long enough to make several direct hits, you'll be rewarded with a prize worthy of any mantelpiece. Now, who's going to be the lucky one to carry it into combat? Ah, yes, Gordon Freeman. I couldn't have asked for a finer volunteer. Colonel Odessa Cubbage at your service.
So good. This rocket launcher feels great to hold too.
And then I'll come right up and lend a hand. Go on.
Alright, let's take this gunship down. The gunships are great. Honestly, some of my favorite design in this game is... Got it. And when we shoot this down, we'll kind of take a look at it, but there's a nice balance with the combine technology between organics and inorganics. Yeah, like look at, this is clearly, ooh. I'm trying to show the people stuff. But clearly there's this nice blend between organic materials and a robot. Like it's a gunship, it has like it had a propeller in here, but also it was like it's a machine and it's a living thing at the same. I mean, it's so good, and it's like a really fascinating blend of technology that like a lot of authors have explored, but not a lot of, I feel like a lot more games could get into something like that, because it's just such an amazing and like intriguing combination of things, combination of technologies, you know, because I mean, we're doing so much like genetic engineering, creating meat from nothing, you know, like we're at an age where like stuff like this is like possible through science, and why more people haven't taken it to the nth degree like Half-Life 2 did with like the combine technology is beyond me. So as we run through this canyon, honestly, I could talk about this game for days. There's so many more levels, so many different, you know, parts of this game that are just like so beautiful and so amazing, and why it's a masterclass in game development, why it's a masterclass in art, world building. I mean, there's just a million reasons why this game is amazing. Oh yeah. Oh boy. Oh, did you see how the bullets go through the water? It's just so good. If you watch the Apex episode, you know that I'm pretty bad at mouse and keyboard shooting. But yeah, honestly, just a masterclass of a game. If you've never played this game and have any interest in video games, video game history, video game development, it's a must. Oof. It's like the Godfather of video games. You might not like it might not be your cup of tea, but it's essentially mandatory viewing if this is the career you want to get into. So, as I hide and cower under this dock, because I'm really bad at shooting things, I just want to say, have a great day. I hope you learned something on this episode of The Art of Games. Until next time, my name's Keegan Larwin from New York City. Have a great one. Thanks.